This time I'd like to call to order the May 12th, 2025 Jackson County Commission meeting. So thanks for everybody that's here and everybody that will be watching later on. At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Hamrick, our county administrator, please call the roll to establish quorum.
Commissioner Gully.
Present.
Commissioner Kennemer.
Present.
Commissioner Buckner. Commissioner McBride.
Present. We do have a quorum, so if everyone please stand, I'll ask our county attorney to lead us in our investigation this morning. And Commissioner Gully will lead our pledge of allegiance.
God, our Father in heaven, we come before you and we bow our knees and bow our heads and we thank you for the blessings that you've given us each and every day. And we're especially thankful that we can meet in the open as a public body to discuss matters that are important to the citizens of the county, where we don't take those privileges for granted. We pray that you'll always have them and that we'll take whatever measures are necessary to preserve these privileges that we have. So God, we pray you watch over us, guide us, be with us every day. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
I'll wait on Commissioner Buckner.
Attention.
Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The agenda is in your package. Give you a moment to review. We have 4 items in our new business portion of the meeting, and we have several items to discuss in our work session tonight. And we will be going into an executive session to discuss good name and character. And so with that, do I have a motion to approve the May 12th, 2025 agenda for the Jackson County Commission meeting?
I'll make that.
The motion, have a second? Second. Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. I don't think we have any speakers tonight and awards and presentation, so we will move directly into our new business portion. In our last work session, Revenue Commissioner Jeff Arnold came before us and presented and had a discussion about the need to abate some litigations. That list is in your packet for you to review. There are 2 pages of the list. So it does not require our approval. He did ask if we would just for their record, take a motion to approve the abatement process. So, do I have a motion to approve the abatement of litigations for the Revenue Commission office?
Good motion.
We have a motion, a second. Second. We have a second. Any discussion? Any discussion?
I would like to abstain.
Okay, so we do have an extension. Commissioner, right? With that, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. So 3 yeas and 1 abstention. Next item in your packet is a motion regarding the signing of the maintenance and security agreement with the Alabama Department of Conservation for boat ramps in Jackson County. Before we take the motion, I'd just like to say once again, thanks to Mr. Keith Henderson, who has worked a lot with us over the last several months, and in fact, about the last year and a half regarding this. In the end, it's not just a matter of them building a new boat ramp at Mud Creek, which will be the Mud Creek North Ramp, but also they are investing money into improving duck hunting ramps across Jackson County and our wildlife management areas. And the funds are being utilized to benefit all types of vessels and user groups in Jackson County. So we just want to say thank you to them and thank you for the work that they did regarding this. This motion, just a few points of agreement in the motion. It is a maintenance security agreement between Jackson County Commission and the state of Alabama, acting through the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. And the conservation and the commission are in agreement with approval of this to a formal partnership for the benefit of the citizens of Jackson County and the benefit of citizens of the state of Alabama. Regarding the issues or points of agreement, the conservation agrees to construct a new facility at Mud Creek called the Mud Creek North Public Boat Ramp. And the commission agrees to assume ongoing maintenance of the facility beginning at the date that will be established later on once the ramp is built by the conservation group. Conservation agrees to install security lights at the Mud Creek North Public Boat Ramp, and the commission agrees to be responsible for funding the monthly electrical service and any required maintenance. That's consistent with our other ramps that we provide this kind of support for. And conservation may contract with the commission to conduct non-routine repairs and non-routine maintenance work that it approves in advance on all boat ramps included in the agreement. And conservation agrees to reimburse the commission for each subsequent year for each ramp an amount not to exceed $75,000 per calendar year per access area. And the maintenance and repairs, the commission shall be responsible for all routine and preventative maintenance and of the premise and facilities contained within Mud Creek North, Langston Road, Public Boat Ramp. And those are the ones that we will have responsibility for. One other item that you will see, and it's on page 6 of the agreement, that this agreement shall be for a period of time for 25 years, commencing on the first day of March 2025 and ending on midnight of the first day of March 2050, with an option for conservation to renew the agreement for an additional 25-year period. And for any such renewal, the amount of the annual non-routine limitation shall be increased as agreed to upon by the parties to reflect the increased cost of the goods and services. With that, do I have a motion to approve and authorize the chairman to sign the maintenance and security agreement with the state of Alabama Department of Conservation for the various public boat ramps?
I'm gonna make a motion.
We have a motion, have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any questions? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next, we have a request from Director of Maintenance before we begin, and we would like to extend the temporary maintenance apprentice position in the maintenance department for employee Andrew Markwell for a period of another period of 6 months. Let me turn it over to Director. Any comments?
Just that, Andrew Markwell's been so far an excellent employee to have in a temporary position. I wish we could have got something together trying to get him on full time. I mean, he's really, really good. He's done a good job. He's quick to learn everything. It's the first time he's worked in maintenance, and everything he's touched, he's been able to pick up very quick. He's really, really helpful in keeping everything, any odd and end jobs that we have, that especially with as much of the projects that we have going on right now, is getting him to take care of stuff to help us out with that while we're spread thin all of that. So I just implore y'all, please, to allow us to keep him another 6 months.
Let me offer one comment. I think this sort of bridges the period of time between now and whenever we move in and start operations at the Jackson County Courthouse Annex over on Liberty Lane. And we may want to, at that time, look at increasing our maintenance staff because we have a large footprint building over there that will need some support. But that's an issue that will come up later. This bridges the gap to that. So with that, do I have a motion to approve a 6-month extension for a temporary employee in the maintenance department?
Motion.
We have a motion, have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second. Any questions?
Yes,
Discussion?
I got a question. So do you have money in your budget to cover this?
We do still have quite a bit of money in the budget.
Okay.
We should be able to cover it.
And his duties and responsibilities, they're not gonna change, you're just extending it.
Not at this point, sir.
Okay. If no further questions, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Last item on the agenda is just a motion. You don't have a resolution or anything in your packet. At a recommendation in our last meeting from Mr. Porter, the county attorney. Given that we had to deal with an indigent body in the last meeting, made a recommendation that we put together a motion that would allow the chairman to be able to handle those without all the time having to come back before the commission. It is a responsibility of the county to serve the needs whenever we have one of these situations. So this motion reads, a motion to authorize the chairman of the commission to approve an expense from the county general fund for the burial of those deceased persons who qualify for such expense payment pursuant to 38-8-2 Code of Alabama upon the request of the Jackson County probate judge at an amount not to exceed the lowest available cost offered by the mortuary where the body is located or may be transported for such services. Before I open for the motion, any questions or comments?
As Commissioner McBride pointed out, it's sad that people find themselves in this shape. So I'm glad that we're able to do a small part in this. I do think this is something that needs to be handled as quickly as possible and not delayed to a meeting. And so I'm very much in favor of this. So thank you for the work that's been done on this.
Okay, if no further questions or comments, do I have a motion? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. That's the last item in our new business portion of the meeting. We'll now move into the work session. And first up is Art Perry, and would like Dr. Parrish to the issue is regarding the purchase of a new lawnmower and also the surplus and sale of old lawnmower.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. We would like to replace our oldest mower. We have 3 zero-turn mowers present. And we've got them kind of set up on a 3-year rotation, replace the oldest one. That keeps them under a fairly good warranty during the whole time that we have them. It also has pretty much totally eliminated any unexpected downtime. So when we go out to the boat ramps and the parks that are out in the county, we don't have breakdowns while we're gone, hardly ever. And so we'd like to purchase this new mower and put the used mower surplus and sell it on the gov deals. It looks like for this age mower, the number of hours that it has on it, it's got about 1,000 hours on it. And those mowers usually sell for 4,000 to 8,000 price range on the used ones.
Take them one at a time. Any questions regarding purchase of?
I want to thank you for bringing us multiple bids. I greatly appreciate that. And thank you for trying to keep it as local as possible. I know the Kubota is not too far away, but it's local owners. Appreciate you considering them. So, but that's my only comment.
Any other questions regarding purchase?
Which mower do you recommend?
I would recommend the John Deere Z930, which is the same mower that all 3 of ours currently are. So we keep the commonality of parts, familiarity with machines. They've done an outstanding job at keeping us running and not breaking down. And they're kind of right in the middle of the price range. We got anywhere from 11 to nearly 16,000 on mowers. And it's proven itself very well for what we do with it. And of course, I'd pick the lowest of the 3, Z930 quotes.
So
We got 3 quotes on Z930 John Deere mowers, and I'd recommend the lowest one, which is our local dealer here in Scottsboro.
Any other questions? Okay, put this on next meeting.
Sure.
Business
You bet.
agenda. So, but for us now, any questions regarding the surplus? So we'll also have to make deal with that in our next
Okay.
meeting. With no questions, we will add that also to give authority to surplus. Just
Was that particular mower surplus, was it a John Deere?
Yes, it is a Z930.
Well, that's better to trade it, I mean, better to sell it than trade it.
Yes, probably. I will also check on that too, between now and the next meeting.
Along that same line, if you've got a fleet, is there any value to keeping it? Which we can talk about this next time, but
Not with the staff that we have, because when we go in these remote locations to mow, we take everybody except for one maintenance person to leave at the park, and everybody else goes to mow. So to keep the extra mower, we really wouldn't need.
I'm talking about for parts and things of that nature. I mean, with that. Again,
Probably
something.
not, because we get such good service out of the machines. They rarely break down. Parts availability with the Deere is excellent. We can get any part that we need off of any of the machines overnight if we need it. So I don't think it'd be an advantage to us to keep it for spare.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up is IT and just an update on security cameras. As we're looking at the Jackson County Courthouse Annex, for security purposes, we do need to install security cameras. That'll be a function of our responsibility to do that. So I asked Ross to just give an update. I know he started looking and discussing and getting an idea of how many we may need up there. So we will have to deal with this later on. He will bring back some quotes for us to regarding this, but Ross.
Yeah, I don't have any finalized pricing, but I do have it close. So our security in general here at the courthouse and at Liberty Lane will all be run through the same system. It's all tied into badge system of, when you badge in, our system will tie in a badge to a camera. And, if we ever need to look back at something, you can go back to when you're badged in and stuff. So it's all tied together. And I say this to say that we use a local company, J&B Electronics here. I think the previous sheriff had them started 15 plus years ago installing this system, and we've slowly added throughout the years since I've been here for 9 years. We have 45 cameras here at the courthouse. We have upgraded 20 of them to the newer HD cameras. So we still have 25 that are not upgraded. And when I say upgrade, I don't only mean quality, and that it is a new compliance that federally, it's called NDAA/TAA compliance. Half of 20 of our 25 are of that compliance. And really all that means is that it was made in America and doesn't have a Chinese microchip in it. That if you look up that compliance, it is a federal worry that there are some backdoor wormholes in cameras that are not made by certain companies. And so for anything that is bought with federal funds must be required by this. We're not required to have this, but I think that it's something that I think states will eventually pick up, and we're not fully compliant. So we have nothing over there at Liberty Lane, obviously. And so I've looked at, the engineers put us 28 cameras spots over there. And so for 28 cameras, the server we would need with the server we had to quote that I got partially quoted is going to hold 60 days of storage. In comparison, I'll give you an idea of the camera system we have here, again, that was put in before I was here. You can catch things for maybe 10 to 14 days. For low quality, we've had a couple of instances actually here recently where the recorder failed some. Again, they're older than 10 years old because I've been here this long and they're gone. So they're really just home recorders. They're not on the network. They're just straight plugged in with an analog cord. They're outdated is what I'm trying to say. So what I would request and ask for permission from y'all is to look further. And before I start into this, I want to get y'all's permission because it is a little more complex than just going to get the quote. It has to be engineered out of where wires are going to be run and things like that. And so if you guys were interested in upgrading the courthouse to become federally compliant, just like we would like to do Liberty Lane, we're looking at around $20,000 at Liberty Lane, 20 to 25, and then right at 17 to 20 to upgrade our server and the 25 cameras that are not upgraded already here to upgrade that. And so I also had quoted in that this will be an AI camera at the door here. It would be an AI camera at the door at Liberty Lane, which then adds another layer of quick lookups. Hey, I need to see a brown-haired man who was here around this time, and it'll where right now when we have to look something up, it's pull the whole day and sit there and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. When we have to look up for different instances up in front. Again, I don't have anything for sure I can before the next meeting, but before we really put in the time and effort into engineering out what it's going to take to get a hard number, I wanted to just bring it up before you guys, see what you thought about A, going in that direction at Liberty Lane, and B, upgrading our courthouse to become of that compliance. We have already done solid waste and public works that watches the gas pumps, as you guys remember you approved last year. They're on their own recorder and it is of compliance. We made sure it is. The compliance does cost us extra, and that's why there are options. But if you don't become that compliant, we run the risk of one day, if Alabama says that all government buildings must be of this compliance, we're gonna have to do it anyways. So I think it's something we can get ahead of the game.
Yeah. Let me open for questions. Comment?
So by my amateur math, you're alluding to about 50 cameras.
It'd be 28 at Liberty Lane for those sports and 20 here. Here we would also get that server, which would replace. We have 3 recorders that are just kind of plugged in random locations here. They're recording to old devices. This would be a solid state server sitting in the basement that is behind constant lock door, air conditioned, all the things that servers need to be done to make sure the longevity lasts on them, that they're more secure. And and then so that price that I'm giving you also is going to include licenses. These cameras also will be accessible from cloud login to be able to access them from anywhere, should the sheriff or myself or whoever needs to do it. We're again right now we pretty much have 3 home video camera systems pieced together through this courthouse right now.
And so for what you're looking at, I mean, is this, what study's been done on determining where the cameras need to be? Or are you just going on?
At Liberty Lane, the JMR plus H did that, which covered every corner of every hallway and every exit at that building. Here, the 20 cameras, the cameras are already in place. This would just be replacing those, or should you guys want me to work with the sheriff, we can look at moving them to different places that needed to be different. I've told the security some, and they've mentioned, hey, it would be nice if one was looking here, or we had one here. So.
And I'm probably gonna regret asking for this, but I think it would be beneficial for the buildings, for the heads to come together and talk about just that very question of what do we need to secure and see
Right
here. Doesn't mean that's what we're gonna do, but
right.
but see those unique perspectives.
Yeah.
Particularly in this building.
Right.
Yeah, and there may be with the move out, some areas that currently has a camera that may not need one.
There is, our camera system here a lot of times is used. It's things going on in court and people coming and going that shouldn't have come and gone, and come and gone with people that shouldn't have been coming and going with, and things like that. So there'll still be a heavy need for them here because of court continue to go.
Let me ask, Liberty Lane, are we covering all the entrance exits to the
Yes,
building?
That'd be interior and exterior of every exit and every hallway, and obviously whatever you call the middle area.
Is there a need for parking lot coverage? There,
That's above, maybe above my pay
I
grade.
think that kind of goes back to what AJ referred to, and they need to get a department. I'll be over there, look at things like that.
yeah,
That's,
I think that's a fair point, but I would ask about the parking lot as well. We do have incidents sometimes outside the building. It may be worthwhile. I think we've experienced incidents outside this courthouse.
They definitely here because we have events and gatherings, and of course, if it goes bad in the courtroom, it's probably gonna go bad in the parking lot. But
yeah, we've had to use some of our external cameras to actually track vehicles driving around. I've pulled vehicles driving around the courthouse that someone needed to see where they needed to go. Yeah, I've used it quite a bit over the last.
So I think that our request is that you
Yeah, I'll
continue as
make
you're
sure that-
planning to continue.
Yes, sir. I'd like to know if this is the wish of the commission to go this route. And
I do have a timeline question. I mean, we're still under construction, sort of at Liberty Lane. Would it be beneficial for that to be at this stage, or is it something that's easy?
it wouldn't, because it wouldn't, we can wait until the next meeting to bring it again on the work session, because we already have the 28 spots. That is in the contract and it's being pulled. They're pulling it probably at this speed already. Yeah, those wires are being pulled. Okay. You know, again, it's not necessarily have to be plugged in, but the wires will be there when we're ready.
So all we have to do is attach camera to it.
So when you come back, we do need a good firm quote.
Right.
It considers everything you need, okay? All right. And when you're ready, we'll put it back on work session to have discussion. Thanks very much. Next up, solid waste. We have two items, soft pack software to integrate with our camera systems on trucks, and driver one job description.
Yes, sir. We're actually looking at changing software system before our camera system, because we've had some issues with our current software system. But now since we have approved our camera system, the software system that we currently have does not integrate with it. So we're having to change and get a software system that works for Third Eye. And so I have a quote for y'all for a new software system. I believe y'all have it. And you can see there's two one-time purchases. One's gonna be, what's highlighted in green. Oh, yeah, it's not. It'll be, total software fees for one time, and then, training fee. That'll be one time, and then there'll be a monthly fee of $1,400 after that every month for the software system. We currently are paying, about $7,600 a year for our current software system. The new software system, which will work the cameras on the trucks, is gonna cost roughly $16,800 annually. That's about $9,000 more a year for this new software system. But these software systems are not the same. I mean, this new system will do our billing. It'll do our notes. Somebody calls in, hey, I need a new can, it'll document all that. they forget to put their can out. You press a button and the camera on the garbage truck will send a picture to this software system. So when the customer calls in, the employee can look it up on the software system and it shows it.
Okay,
Any
question?
questions?
And so with the efficiencies of the software package, I mean, does it take workload off of the office? Does this potentially allow for, you know, a repositioning or anything like that?
No, sir, I don't think it'll take a workload off. I think it'll answer a lot of unanswered questions. He said, she said, to the customer, to the employee. Because currently, if a customer calls in, we didn't pick up their garbage, the customer's right. But now, customer, with this software system, customer calls in, we didn't pick your garbage, we just look it up real quick. And we can say, no, you forgot to put your can out that day. And then we don't have to drive out and do an extra pickup like we're doing now. So potentially, this is gonna save us a good bit of money.
Should save a lot. I thought you mentioned billing. Is that not?
Yes, sir, it'll be billing too.
You don't have to do that a lot, go out and pick up cans or. Quite a bit.
Yes, sir.
One time.
So, currently right now we run Monday through Thursday. And so every day somebody doesn't get their can picked up. They'll call in, my can didn't get picked up. So then we have to go out on Fridays. We'll send a truck depending on how many we've got just for that many. So we might have to send a truck all the way out to Bryant to pick up 2 cans and then stop by Hollywood and pick up a can and then drive to Paint Rock Valley and pick up a can and Skyline, pick up a can. So this system here will be able to fix the, hey, is it our fault? Why are we, you know, if we're missing the can, why are we missing the can? Let's get that resolved so we don't miss the can up. And then if they're just not putting the can out, then we can get that resolved too.
Does this system log exactly who is paying their bill and whether or not they're on garbage service so that you're able to check that as you drive
So
around?
once we put in the customers in this new system, it'll show the driver whether they're an active customer or not. So from what we've been told is we'll have to drive the route for maybe a month or 2 and let it learn the system, learn the stops. And then we'll have a tablet in each truck and it'll show whether it's an active customer or not. So if they're not in the system and there's a can there, then they're not paying for their service.
And it notifies the system as logs that,
So the driver-
has a can and they're not.
The driver will press a button and then it'll send it to the system for us to look up.
When we approved the camera system, we didn't have any software in that initial purchase, or is this software in addition to software we purchased with the camera?
So what y'all approved was just the camera system, and that was my fault. When y'all approved it, top right left corner, it says total third eye / soft pack hardware costs. So I thought this was a all-in-one, but it's the hardware cost, not the software cost.
Any other questions? When did we approve? it? It's not been that long ago.
Meeting before last. Yes, sir.
So is this quote from March still good?
For the software system? Yes, sir.
If we wait the next meeting to approve, we need to move.
So I think we're okay to wait next meeting. They're coming this Friday to start installing the cameras.
Okay, we'll put it on new business next meeting. Okay, we'll do that. Next item is driver 1 job description. There is a job description in your packet. Let me First, let me ask Michelle, our HR director, to discuss this.
And for the job description for this
Yeah.
position. Mr. Skipper asked that the job description be changed to eliminate in the minimum qualifications that the candidate must have a GED or high school diploma. That's what has been eliminated here, and you have a copy in your packet. And then in the KSA's knowledge, skills, and abilities, you will see within that ability to read and accurately read signage and measurements and things like that they need to do in order to perform this job. So it's the
This
same
does-
job description
This
as
does
before.
require the literacy necessary to be able to complete all functions
Yes,
that a driver has to perform.
yes. In the KSA.
Ask regarding the new system that you're putting in the truck, and you don't see any issue with changing this.
I don't see one issue. If you can pass a CDL test, you're fine.
One of the reasons for this is it's getting harder and harder to certainly even get candidates to apply. And there are folks out there who are doing great jobs in the private sector that do not necessarily do not have a GED or high school diploma, have their CDLs, and have the opportunity for them to apply. The discussion that Michelle and I have had is if we approve this, we don't want to limit an individual's service to Jackson County as a driver one for the rest of their career. If they continue to do great work and can move up, we need to also consider changing driver 2 and driver 3 job descriptions to allow those folks that are hired driver 1 the opportunity to be promoted into those positions. So that's just our thought. So, but let me open for questions for Director Skip and Michelle.
Will this go over into other departments?
No. This is the job description, driver 1.
I think, you know, a CDL is professional certification, so if they can achieve their professional certification in their craft that they perform, and certainly high school diploma GED requirements is holding back, and you know, so I have no problem.
And let me back up and put, this is a specific job description there. If another department that their CDL drivers would like to change theirs, then we want that department head to come forward with us and make a recommendation. We'll leave that up to the department.
As far as the driver 2 and the equipment operator, the commission voted to restructure for an organizational chart that allows the employees to be able to be promoted. My concern is if we only do this with the driver 1, they perform really good, they have a Class A CDL, we hire them, they're stuck here. We want to promote them, but we have a different qualification for them to become a 2 or equipment operator. So my question would be, would we also change that on the driver 2 and the equipment operator so that that employee that is potentially really good employee would have the opportunity to move up? If we do not and decide that's not what we want to do, then in HR, we'll have to just make sure that if that person is hired without a high school diploma, eligible for a 1, that they are not allowed, and explain that for them to move up in the organization in that department.
We say, you know, I'm a lifelong educator and several guys here are, and certainly think that it's important you have an education, but some of the smartest people I know didn't graduate high school for various reasons. I agree that if you can pass a test and get your CDLs, you're certainly qualified to drive a vehicle from the state. But I don't necessarily think we should limit this to one position, because all we're going to do is restrict our employees from, like you said, moving up the ladder And then it's gonna be a nightmare to keep up with. I mean. it's gonna be
So
like
I would
having a nightmare.
propose that we put this on new business. I'm asking everybody's thoughts, but when we do that, we bring back the driver one, driver two, and driver three job descriptions modified to allow someone without a GED or high school diploma to qualify.
And the equipment operator.
It's,
Yes.
And could we include other departments as well when we do that?
Again, I would say, I think we
Right.
leave that to the department.
Right.
We'll let them come in. We can discuss this in the department head meeting.
Yes.
There's an opportunity to do that, but we would like that, let them bring that before the commission.
and then for the record, under the KSAs, under number 9, reading skills to understand operator manuals, directives, procedures, and instruction, and read road signs and numbers. And then number 10, skills in basic math to read equipment gauges. So those are under KSAs that they would need to be able to do along with their CDL to be hired for the position.
Is everybody okay with that approach? And we will notify other departments that this is available, so let them bring it forward. Go ahead.
All right, so in light of this high-tech garbage truck we're gonna go up down the road with, where we're putting in stuff as we're driving and operating an iPad, I don't see anything in here that talks about functional knowledge of computer operation and that type thing. So, I mean, I think it very much needs to be on the front end, because if you're driving, I'm expecting them to be able to run that would be part of it as well. So that's something that I think we need to review while you're adding this.
I would also like some more information on what that's gonna require in a heavy equipment vehicle in terms of current policies that we have to make sure.
Yeah.
Is that,
I brought this up because, starting out driver one, because right now, nobody can apply without a GED or high school diploma. So they can't work their way up because they can't get hired right now. So that's why I started with the driver one. I haven't really looked into the others, but we can look into driver two and equipment operator, because there is some more requirements that they have to become a driver two or equipment operator.
I think we're more so talking about the electronics in the vehicle. For me, some employees still use a flip phone. And then what all would they need to be able to do, and do we have that covered in the job descriptions?
I think so. I mean, it's monitoring gauges. All you're doing is pressing a button, that tablet. It's, turn it on. When you turn the truck on, the tablet will come on, and then you press a button to send it. So it ain't like an actual, laptop sitting there. You gotta type up an email and send it to them. But we can add something if we need to.
Maybe on the KSA, you add something about mobile electronics devices.
Okay. All right, I would like you to look into driver one, driver two, driver three, if we agree to that. And that's, we'll put this on you, everybody, putting on new business. But look at bringing all 3 job descriptions back that offers this option. Okay. All right, that's all we got in solid waste. Next is commission, and we'll turn it over to our county administrator, Mr. Hamlet. This year, we started wanting to provide in commission meeting and work sessions the status of our quarterly report on our budget, and so I've asked Mr. Hamlet to do that tonight. So, Matthew, turn forward to you.
In your packet, you have 3 pages. They are summaries. On the first page, you have a budget report by fund for revenue. When you look at those percentages, you want 50% is the ideal to be on track, because we're halfway through the year. On the revenue side, lower numbers than 50 are good. Overall, we're at 45%, so we're a little ahead on our overall budget of receiving revenues.
The big outliers that have not, money has not come in, Fund 100, that is the fund that we purchase and sell the heavy equipment for public works. That money, that sale money came in April, so it's after this report. So we expect that to be high, because that's a large portion of that fund's revenue. For things for Fund 116, that is the money coming into that fund, the capital improvement fund. There's one annual disbursement from the state, and then the revenue that's been received so far is interest revenue. And then going down.
So when should 116 come?
Fund 116, I looked at, I believe it also came in April. So it's typically April to May that money is received. And whenever I had looked, pulling the reports, it has come in subsequent to these reports. And then some of those other funds that are above 50% are gas tax funds, and you have the park. I've been looking year over year, we are trending similarly to how we have in the past. And those revenues pick up more in the warmer months when people are traveling more and visiting the park.
Okay, so things trending, reservations going up,
Yes.
eelgrass going down.
So far.
All right. Everybody, get your cabins.
That's
Just May.
Yeah.
It's just May.
Don't jinx it, Paul. All right, yeah, continue on.
So that's my assessment.
And federal aid exchange comes in one lump sum.
That's,
So you sort of
that's
have a year.
yes, federal exchange does come in one lump sum, and it has already come in. And any overages we see in that account is interest revenue on the account. Are there any
We have a
questions?
little more than we,
Like solid
we're
waste.
-2, so we're a little more, we got a little more money than the 400,000. So this-
Yeah,
this-
that, we've been accruing interest on that account, so we are exceeding the 400,000.
Okay. Any questions on revenue? Bottom line is we're on track.
We are on
We're doing
track.
a little better than 50%. And, those items that are not quite in yet, that should be expected because they come in at certain times of the year. Okay.
The next page should be, this is a breakdown of the expenditures for the general fund alone, summarized by department. On the expenditure pages, numbers above 50% is where we would like to see. So to go through the large outliers for the 51,130 county general expenses, that is the liability and property insurances are paid out of that fund initially. And it's been the practice to do a journal entry at the end of the year, because they send quarterly endorsements for additional money to either go out or come back in. So typically, there's a journal entry at the end of the year to disperse that to the other funds and departments for their portion of the liability and property. Elections, we've held all the elections for the fiscal year, and those ran just slightly over. So that's why that number is negative. And then the school resource officer, when you factor that into the sheriff's departments, so those are together. Make sure we may change, that way it's represented on the budget. But when you factor that in, those two accounts are still above 50%.
Okay, any question? So overall, the deal was 50, we're 49%.
And that's largely due to those insurances that have it inflated ahead. And the third page we have is a summary by fund again. The 103% gas tax, that again is the fund that Public Works Heavy Equipment is purchased out of. And those purchases have already been made for the year, so that expense being over is anticipated. The Fund 119 being over budget, that is from the striping that was approved in the meeting, the October 15th meeting, but there was not a budget amendment put in. So probably if you guys would like at the next meeting, I've compiled a list of all the approved purchases for the year and identified the ones that haven't had budget amendments to go with them. We want to do a catch up to get everything on the same page. And moving forward, as those purchases come up, we can amend the budget possibly in the same motion.
How taxing would it be on you to, like, his request for on mower? I'm gonna take it out of this fund. I've got $52,000 in it and I'm wanting to spend $14,000. He looks at you, you give us a thumbs up. I mean, is that a crazy request on my part?
It is not, and I think in doing this and going back through the minutes of all the meetings and compiling that list, that ahead of meetings moving forward, I'm gonna try to get with department heads and ask them, is this purchase coming out of your normal budget? Do you want a budget amendment? That way they can communicate.
Because I mean, again, to us, I think we would be better stewards if it's, okay, you don't have this in the budget for this, so. But where are we moving? What's the compromise? Because otherwise, we're approving something that. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
But overall, the budget is, we're at 51% remaining overall. So it's, and that is similar to prior years.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah, anything that you're seeing on the economy that leads you to believe that things are speeding up, slowing down, say the same.
Overall, we're remaining fairly consistent, I think, during budget. A lot of department heads factor in all those inflationary things that they foresee, and so we're able to keep the budget on track.
Anything legislatively that's giving you excitement or heartburn?
Nothing at this time, for us specifically.
Sometimes it has big boy consequences. Okay. Thank you.
Just a quick status of cash, dual fund cash flow. Remember, we are trying to maintain a balance in there so that we're able to fund up front as required these slope failure projects that we will get repaid by FEMA. So Matthew has established fund accounts for each one of those projects. We put money into it out of the cash balance. And as we get receipts, we bill FEMA. Really, it's not FEMA now. It's that money is at EMA, state EMA. And so we're billing them as FEMA money. But so far, they've been doing a pretty good job of reimbursing us as we're executing these projects. So we're maintaining a pretty balanced level of the general fund cash balance.
And just to educate, the FEMA reimbursement's 85%.
87%.
87%. So
Yes.
we're not quite
Which makes
dollar
it,
for dollar.
yes, but also makes it I'll use the comment that, we're using our cash balance judiciously because we're getting 87% of that money returned to us to replenish our cash balance that we have for the account. Okay, anything else? Any other questions? If not, that's the last item that we have in our work section. We'll now move to reports from the staff, county administrator, county engineer. Not here tonight, didn't have an item on the agenda. County attorney.
I don't have anything.
Okay, so we'll move to comments from the commission, District 4, Commissioner McBride.
As always, want to say thank you to all our employees for the hard work that they put in. Want to mention also that there was a lifelong educator, Miss Cotton, that was tragically killed in a car accident this week. Keep that family in prayer.
Okay, District 3, Commissioner Butler.
I want to echo everything Commissioner McBride stated. I love him going before me. That's still my comments, but I don't have anything else to add. Thank you.
District 2, Commissioner Kelly.
Appreciate all the hard work you do, Kobe. I'm still glad you're making good progress. Good to see you around.
District 1, Commissioner Gold.
I'll just echo comments of the previous commissioner and like everybody to keep the Hughes family in their prayers from Bridgeport, next door neighbor. He lost his life in a mowing accident yesterday and keep his family in their prayers.
I certainly appreciate the comments of our commissioners. Also want to say thank you again to our county employees. We had another weekend of some dangerous weather and a lot of areas of Jackson County had trees down, had some houses, but there was tremendous response, whether it was our first responders or our public works or even the folks who are working our county power from our power companies. They were out working to restore and clean up. And so I want to say thank you to everybody, all our employees that did that. Our next meeting date is 27 May. Again, that will be a Tuesday, and that's on Tuesday due to the holiday. We do need to go into executive session, as I mentioned earlier, regarding good name and character. And so at this meeting, at this time, do I have a motion to go into executive session? We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. I would like to have Michelle,